Welcome back to another episode of Primility Primer, our morning reminder of the power of balancing pride and humility as we go about our daily lives. This is episode number 69. I am your host, Jared Morris, and I want to start this episode off with a quick and very sincere call to action. I mean this. So I know that our audience is growing because I can see it in the numbers, and I thank you all for listening and for being here. I really do. And a lot of you, I know, you're people that I've worked with, you're people that I'm friends with, you're family members. And I know you, and we've emailed and we've talked. And I think you all know that you're more than welcome to email me anytime. I always love hearing your stories, expounding on any of the ideas that we talk about here. But this call to action goes specifically out to the people I don't know. Maybe you haven't signed up for the email list yet. You haven't requested your wristband and we've never emailed, or we've never conversed on Twitter. We've never met in person. I would love to know who you are. And so I would love for you to email me, jared@primility.com. Even if all you say is just hi, I will say hi back. Maybe the conversation doesn't go any further than that, but I'd love to just open up the line of communication. And don't worry, I'm not going to put your email address on a list, anything like that. It's just a personal email to me. And maybe it sparks a conversation, and maybe I can learn from you. Maybe you can learn from me. Maybe a friendship can develop. But I think this, getting up every day, doing these shows, putting this content out there, it doesn't mean anything if ultimately it's not leading to connections with the people who are consuming it. So that's my call to action. Certainly, if we've emailed before, email me anytime. I love hearing from you. But especially those of you who we've never connected, send me an email, jared@primility.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thank you. Now, let's go to today's episode, because I want to talk about a topic that it's something that I've written about before on Primility, but I don't know that we've talked about it before in an episode of Primility Primer. And I actually wasn't going to discuss this today, but I woke up, I looked in my email, and lo and behold, there's an email there from Gregory Ciotti. Gregory Ciotti writes at sparringmind.com. It is one of my favorite newsletters that I subscribe to. I've been a subscriber for a long time. I read almost all of the newsletters that come through. And in the newsletter that came today, Greg talks about encouragement. And it's a topic that is so relevant for Primility in a couple of ways. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But he takes a really interesting angle on encouragement, because he talks about the risk that the person giving the encouragement is taking by giving the encouragement. Because think about it. If you don't word it correctly, it could come off too strong. It could make things weird, possibly. If the person who you're giving the encouragement to, doesn't accept it or feel strange about it. Look, anybody can say, great job, you're awesome, way to go, kind of the general platitudes, but really giving sincere, detailed, genuine encouragement to another person, it kind of requires another level of vulnerability on each side to work, and there's risk there. So I highly encourage you all to read it. If you go to primility.com/show/069, you'll find a link to this post. It's true. I can't get to everything that he talks about in this episode, so I encourage you to read it. But there's a great quote in there. And the quote is, and the lead-in of the blog post for this episode is, anyone who ever gave you confidence, you owe them a lot. And it's so true. Because having confidence, think about that. We can take it for granted when we do have confidence in something. But when we start to trace back what developed our confidence and the experiences and the people who were involved in giving us that confidence, man, it is worth its weight in gold. It's almost worth more than gold, because we need confidence to complete tasks and to work and to do so many of the things that we love to do. So that's the first idea. Is it kind of goes along with Thank You Thursday, is really feeling appreciation for the people who gave us confidence, who we didn't even really have. We couldn't control it. It's not like it was something in our control. We can control what we experience, but we can't control who's there along the way to give us confidence. Parents, friends, coaches, whatever. And that's something to never forget. Now, here's the other big idea about encouragement, about giving compliments, and why it's such a topic that's prime for Primility. So let's think about it first from the perspective of the person giving the encouragement. Number one, you've got to have pride in the fact that you have something to give. Your words are going to matter. You have a perspective that is important. That's the first step. But then that's got to be balanced, because we all know if all you have is a perspective to give, it can kind of come off as domineering, and you can act like a know-it-all and think you know everything, and then you're just kind of telling someone what to do instead of giving them encouragement that they can do it themselves. And that's why it's got to be combined with the humility to really understand what the other person is going through, where they are in whatever it is, what truly are the strengths that they bring to the table, what truly are the weaknesses that they're perhaps trying to overcome, and to match that perspective and that advice, that encouragement with a true understanding of the person, what they're going through, the timing of when it will be right. You match those things together, you're in the sweet spot where the encouragement can really mean something, and where it's worth that potential risk of stepping out on the limb and giving that encouragement to the other person. Now, on the flip side, the person who's receiving the encouragement, they've got to have pride that they're worthy of the encouragement. If they just think, oh, I'm not, they can even be appreciative of what you're saying, but if they can't internalize it with a belief that, hey, yeah, I can do this. This person's right. This person sees something in me, and maybe I don't see it yet, but I've done other things and I can get there. That kind of pride, and it can kind of feed off of each other, and maybe they don't have it right at the beginning, but as the person giving the encouragement is talking, they can build that up. But that pride's got to be there, along with the humility on the part of the person receiving the encouragement, to understand the risk that the person giving the encouragement is giving, and to believe that the words of that person are important. Because think about, if you're the person getting the encouragement and you've got the pride part, you think that you're capable of this, you're ready to go, you may not be humble enough to actually listen to what the person is saying. You may not think that they have a perspective that important because you've got the answers and you're already supremely confident. You already know you can do this. Hey, sure, okay, I get it, I can do it. So it requires that humility to truly listen, right? And to truly believe, hey, maybe I do already believe in myself in this situation, but what could it hurt me to take more encouragement and to listen and to offer a thank you and to accept this encouragement gracefully. So this idea of encouragement on the part of the encourager and on the part of the encouragee, right? Pride and humility on both sides. We hit that sweet spot in the middle where the person giving the encouragement feels good about it and they're inspired to do it more. And again, it's like gratitude. Same thing with encouragement. The more that we can give people meaningful encouragement, not great job, but great job because, or not you can do it, but you can do it because, right? That because is important. That shows that you've really thought about this person, that you know them, that you understand the situation. And the more that we can do that and put that out there into the world, the better off it's going to be. And the more meaningful our interactions are going to be with other people. So that's my big idea for today. An idea about encouragement is to make sure on either side, no matter whether you're the person giving the encouragement or you're the person getting the encouragement, and we may be either of those people 3 or 4 times a day, to remember the importance of keeping our pride and our humility in balance at those moments, because that's what will make the encouragement work. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Primility Primer, for listening to this episode of Primility Primer. It's our last one of the week. If you missed any of the episodes from this week, go to primility.com/primer and you can get a rundown, or you can go to primility.com/join, get on the email list. And every Friday, you'll get our Friday email digest where we email the titles and descriptions of all 5 episodes, so that if you miss one, and I know it's hard to stay caught up with the daily show, if you missed one, you can catch up on any episodes that may be relevant to you. And one more time, if you're new, if we've never emailed, if we've never met, if we've never talked, send me an email, jared@primility.com. It's JEROD@primility.com. Even if it's as simple as hi, I would love to just make the connection. All right, everybody, have a great weekend the whole time. Stay cognizant of your pride and your humility as much as you can. And I'll be right back here Monday morning with another brand new episode. I will actually be on location. It will be the first episode of Primility Primer not recorded from right here in my personal studio at our house. I will be in Philadelphia. I'm at a conference next week, but that doesn't mean that Primility Primers stop. We will continue. I will talk to you then, everybody. Respond.